The Captain's Log Radio with your host, Captain Jonathan Moss.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Captain's Log Radio. And this is our Tackle Box Tip segment presented by Icon Coolers. I'm Captain Jonathan Moss. Let's talk position on the skiff. Yeah, it really makes a difference where you stand, what you do, and the amount of volume, noise, motion that you put out while you're fishing. I'm talking specifically skinny water flats fishing. When you're chasing redfish, tarpon, snook, black drum, speckled sea trout. I'm not talking so much bass, though you can spook bass. But y'all's heavy bass boats push through the water stable. You can move around those yachts and they don't really move too much. What I'm talking is when you're on a technical poling skiff. Like my Kyo 180. Loving this skiff. It is deadly quiet. I've pulled up to fish and they have no idea we're right there. But what alerts these fish more often than not is us, the anglers. Where you stand on the boat can make all the difference. So think about this. I'm a guide. I'm on the poling platform. I'm in the back of the boat. I'm actively looking and pursuing fish, pushing the boat, pushing my angler to the fish. Now, when that angler is off to a side, whether it be left or right, port or starboard, I can feel it. It makes a difference for me as the guide, as the guy in the back of the boat, pushing the boat where you stand. If you are too far one side or the other, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to pull because I'm now at an angle. I'm tilted. Standing flat makes it easier for me. Also, standing on one side, compared to being in the center, is going to push water differently. You see, these fish are already on high alert. They're already in very shallow water, and anything can spook them. It always drives me nuts how these predator fish, think about this, 40 1/4 inch snook behind me, okay? That is a massive fish. That is top of the food chain, and yet they can be extremely spooky, especially around shallow water. Outside of the mangroves and outside of hiding down in the grass, they don't have much protection. So they're getting pressure from anglers. They're getting pressure from above, from birds, from ospreys, from eagles, pelicans diving on them. And then you got dolphins that are coming after them. Okay, so being still, being centered to your boat on the skiff can make a huge difference when you're approaching the fish. Let's say you're throwing fly. You're a fly angler and you are casting at your fish. If you are getting your lower torso involved in that cast, it's over. It's over. Why? Why does that make a difference? Because now you are pushing more momentum, more weight, more water, more noise. And these fish are going to hear you. I don't care how good of a caster, how far, how accurate you are. If you are alerting the fish, you're never going to have that opportunity to cast at, to present to them, to see them react and catch a fish. Okay. This is why with spinning gear, and you've heard me talk about this before, having rods and reels and line where you can cast far and inshore fishing can make a huge difference. Okay. Because you're fishing further from the boat. You're fishing further from the source of noise. You're fishing further away from you in water that is less pressured. The fish aren't going to sense you. But if you're throwing fly, okay, you're not throwing it most times as far as a spinning rod. So being centered, being quiet, having your cast be upper torso only instead of using your full body can make all the difference when presenting to fish on the flats. The next piece, and this has nothing to do with where you stand, it's nothing to do with how you cast. It's shutting the cooler. On my Kyo 180, on my brand new skiff, okay, I have a jump seat. That is a center console with a seat. I love that setup. Okay, I take a lot of anglers fishing. A lot of times most of the time it's not a solo angler. It's two people. So when I have two people, I have someone sitting beside me and someone sitting in that jump seat. It's also insulated and is a cooler. That's where I put my reusable ice blocks in there. It keeps my lunch cold. It keeps my clients' drinks and food cold. Okay. But when you go into that cooler, when you get into any hatch, all of my hatches on my Kyo have a spring shock. I'm sorry, a gas shock, not a spring, a gas shock. So you lift it and it holds in place, and when you shut it, it shuts softly. But that jump seat does not. Instead, it's a strap. So if you push it, it's going to pow, it's going to slam shut. And again, in a foot of water, all that noise can make all the difference. So think about that. My kids are 5 and 3, and they have been trained to shut the cooler lid quietly. Yet a lot of the times when I take anglers, and it's not their fault, they're not experienced in inshore shallow water flats fishing. A lot of the times they slam the cooler lid shut. The jump seat, slam it down. I don't think they do it on purpose. I don't think they realize how fast it's going to shut, but it will spook your fish. And that makes a huge, huge difference on whether you are going to catch fish or not. Last part, and I probably should have talked about this when I talked about being centered with the boat, but your steps can make a huge difference. How you step around the boat can make a huge difference. If you're throwing fly line or throwing fly and you get that fly line tangled around your feet or get it wrapped around your feet or in front of your feet and you're trying to step around it, or man, you're making a cast and it's wrapped around your foot and you're trying to dance out of it. How you put your foot down can make a huge difference on whether those fish are alerted to you showing up. Whether those fish are alerted that, hey, something's not right, something's not natural, something is approaching, and I got to get out of Dodge. So think about that. Be centered. Lower torso only if you're throwing fly. Try to make those long casts if you're throwing spin. Keep your feet still. You need to be a ninja, a mouse on that front deck. And when you shut your hatches, do it quietly. You try those things. You get out there and you do that. You implement those tactics while you go fishing, and I guarantee you're going to have more opportunities to present to fish. Get out there, do some fishing. I'm Captain Jonathan Moss. This is our tackle box tip presented by Icon Coolers. This is the Captain's Log Radio. Thank you all for listening. We'll see y'all next time.
Thanks for listening to the Captain's Log Radio with your host, Captain Jonathan Moss.